Alright guys, I'm your guy, Eric Gilliard, coming to you one more time. And we're going to call this one, Don't Be Afraid to Cut Off the Dead Parts. So if you can see, this tomato plant, I had about 4 or 5 tomatoes come up out of this, which is good. But you see here, I've got a lot of dead spots. And what happens is, as this plant is trying to grow, all of these dead branches is still taking the nutrients and the energy away from the plant. And so what I'm doing is trying to cut away the dead parts from the plant so the plant can have all of the energy that it needs to have to live and to thrive. And if you notice, I've got a few branches here that's dying, or dead, already dead. But there's some that's really thriving. So in order for the plant to get all of the nutrients that it needs, the dead parts have to come off. And what are some of the dead areas in your life that you refuse to cut? Who are some of the dead areas in your life? Who are some of the dead areas in your life that you refuse to cut off? So in order for the entire plant to grow, you've got to be willing to cut some things. So let's say you cut off this part, right? You cut off this part, right? So now all of a sudden, a lot of the nutrients that this plant requires to survive, it actually has a chance, because now some of the dead areas not sucking all the juice and the energy from the plant, but now the plant has a chance to survive. And that's all you want to do, is give yourself a chance to survive. So from a gardening perspective, let's see, this one got stuck. And I actually cut the line. Didn't mean to do that. From a gardening perspective, it just makes sense to cut off all of the dead areas so the entire plant will have a chance to thrive. You can't survive, there's no way you can thrive. So, as a gardener, or somebody who impersonates a gardener, don't be afraid to cut off some dead areas in your life. Don't be afraid. When you recognize there's some people that's not productive in your life, there's some people that played a part at some time in your past, but now they're not productive. In fact, you find that some relationships are toxic. Don't be afraid to cut them. In fact, you'll do them some good so that they can find themselves. So don't be afraid. Just go ahead and snip it. I think Barney Fife used to say, nip it. So don't be afraid to cut. Don't be afraid to pull off the dead parts. This plant now has a chance to live because we've gotten rid of some dead issues. What are some issues in your past that you refuse to let go of? What are some issues that you thought that you loved that you refuse to let go of? Who are some issues that you refuse to let go of? And so these are questions that only you can answer. But if you want to live, we got to be cut. Now this plant has a bigger chance of thriving because I've cut away some dead issues. So right there, I'm going to leave it. Take that off. Now it has a chance. One more. Okay, one more. Here we go. Here's another one. Now it has a chance. So there you have it. Don't be afraid to snip away some old issues. So now you got a new plant that is not being drained from old issues. It's not being drained from dead issues. And now it has a chance to survive and a chance to thrive. I'm your guy, Eric Yoli. I hope this was helpful. Signing out.